Hi, this is Christina Etchberg with It's Military Life. I am so excited to be here with Camille Deal of Homegrown Happiness. So how are you doing, Camille?
I'm doing good. We are so busy over here. I just launched a small store called Moss and Pine that I'm working into Homegrown Happiness. I just decided that I didn't want. Yes, I have Colton here with me, my 1.5-year-old son. So he will be interjecting his thoughts the whole time. He thinks I spend way too much time doing everything else, and I should be playing cars. So.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Christina?
I'm good. I totally understand. I have my 3-year-old and 1-year-old napping on either side of these walls, so I never know when they're ready to play cars or whatever they are wanting me to do, especially my 1-year-old who always wants food. So his alarm goes off when his little belly gets all hungry.
You think that's funny? You relate to that? You understand? Yeah. He carries his milk around everywhere. There's always a car in each hand, and then he's like dropping them, and he gets so angry. So angry. And I'm like, buddy, you can't. You've got like 5 cars and your milk and usually a blanket. I'm like, you can't carry it all. And he does not understand. My parents bought him a little wagon. It's like a mini little red Tykes wagon. It is so cute. And I thought this would be the winner. And he'd put all the little pucks in there and he'd pull it around. No, he just stands inside of it and holds all his trucks. It was probably the most dangerous investment that we've gone with.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, my 3-year-old, he has all his toy friends and then his blanket and such. So I'm trying to think of the strategy we've done. We've done like one of those like flexible bags that you like put toys in or blankets, and then he drags it. My grandma also got him a shopping cart to put his toy friends into.
Yes. See, we thought that the wagon would be like the shopping cart, and we were like, oh, that's great. Like he can just pull it around, have a bunch of fun. Nope, no, they have to be held. They're that important.
They're his essentials.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so fun. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself in the military world, as well as you as an entrepreneur, and just the story behind Homegrown Happiness.
Yeah. So my husband joined in 2017. And we have been lucky. My husband's a Ranger here at 1st Battalion. So we've spent all of our time here. We love it. Savannah is just stunning. So we really got lucky, sort of being stuck here. If you're a Ranger, you don't really move around too much until you're like an officer. So we feel like we just got like the best base in the Army to be at. And when we first got here, I was like, I'm just trying to do my time as a military spy. It was like a prison sentence. So I was like, I'm trying to do my time and we'll move back home. We're from North Carolina too, so we're not far away from home. It was funny, like before he joined, he's the one that said he'd never leave North Carolina. I was like, well, I'm going to UGA, bye. Didn't work that way. I fell head over heels. And so I went to school in North Carolina, and then he joined the military, high school sweethearts. After he got out of basic and got stationed here, I came down here. So we've been here ever since. And when we first came down here, he was still doing a lot of training. After they get their assignment, they'll usually go back to Ranger school. So he was sort of hit or miss with training. He's gone a lot. And
Hello.
So I had a full-time job and a part-time job I was doing, neither of which I really wanted. Yes, honey. Neither of which I wanted to do for forever.
Yeah.
I was just sort of trying to pass the time, and I was making good money. So I was like, you know what, it's fine, whatever. Well, then I found out I was pregnant with Colton. And I was so sick. I was so extremely sick. And we lived on the 3rd floor of our apartment complex. And I couldn't do it. I was like, we have to buy a house because I can't make it up the stairs. I'm sitting halfway up the first flight of stairs. I'm like, I'm just going to take a quick break. we have a German Shepherd, and he would like have run up the stairs like 4 times. I'd still be on like the 3rd step. I'm like, you guys so brave with me. I was sweating. So we moved into our house, and I was like, I kind of want to see what the FRG is about. So I went to an event with a wife that, my husband was friends with the husband. And so he was like, look, they're really down to earth. Go with her. So we went to this wine and design.
So fun.
Little did I know they were moving like 3 weeks later. So I lost my first friend. That's how it works. That's military life.
Yeah, it's so true.
And I was like, I had so much fun. I actually have to give, just like pour my heart out to, her name is Joanna Norton. She was an angel. And the first event I went to, she introduced herself. She knew me by name by the end of the event. And it really just made me want to be present. And so then I started trickling into more events. And then I realized, I was like, okay, maybe this doesn't have to be a prison sentence. Maybe it doesn't have to be just get through it and move back home. And then the ball started rolling. And I went from just like the wife that wasn't active to a key caller. And now I'm the co-treasurer for our company. And then I launched Homegrown Happiness. And it was really because I realized, being the only wife in our little friend group, the rest of the guys that came over, I sort of felt like I was the mom, and everybody was single, and the FRG would send out the calendars to the wife, and I would just sort of have to like disperse information. The guys were like, I think you know my schedule better than I do. and I started thinking about it. I was like, there's really, other than the chaplain, there's no direct contact to these guys like the families get. So Homegrown Happiness became me sort of relaying the information that I learned, the experiences that I had with everyone else. And then I was like, I don't feel like it's me to be total military. I have a life outside of, being a military spouse. Becoming a mother was the coolest thing in the world to me. He's always up to something. He's got like chairs pulled out right now, like things not to do with the mom. Having chairs because your kid climbs on the chair. You think it's funny? I'm glad somebody does. But it like blossomed. It got really big. And then I wrote an article, and it's my biggest article to date. And it was sort of just as a joke. And it's on my website still. It's a little poem, and it's, what is a ranger? What's an Army Ranger? And it really, it sort of got personal, with things we've experienced. When my husband deployed, his squad leader was hurt on deployment. He was hurt really bad. And he and his wife are the strongest people that I've ever met in the world. And so I mentioned, being an Army Ranger is knowing about who Ryan Davis is, and knowing that he was the coolest guy in the world before he ever became like a triple amputee and everybody knew his name. He was still like such an awesome person. His wife, so strong. Like, she's military wife goal. She's just incredibly strong, has stuck by his side, has been his advocate, and it's just been the mixing of being a mom and relating to these women that, need help from the FRG as like a leader standpoint, relating to them as a wife and a mom, and not just as a military spouse. But I enjoy writing about like the different bases and stuff like that. So it's all just mixed together. So it's where my little tagline came from, mixing military and motherhood. Because I couldn't just, you think that's funny? Decide on, some people say like, you need to niche down if you're going to write your life story and be a blogger. Couldn't do it. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I feel like it wouldn't, it really wouldn't be our life if I didn't.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love it. And I love how real you were in the beginning with the fact that it kind of felt like a prison sentence, or at least a countdown to what it was. And I felt that way in regards to the fact that I was kind of thinking, okay, this is how many years we have, wanting to go back because that was something so familiar. But then once I just kind of let go and said, wow, all these military spouses or military significant others, or even my husband's fellow service members, we're fantastic. We're amazing. And the military community they're so strong and they're so united. And I really like also how it's not just, the military world, but also the life of a mom and entrepreneur. And that's amazing that you really found your identity through your website and through your blog.
And we joke about, we're such a tight group, since a lot of the Rangers, they stay wherever they are, unless they choose to, change battalions. We lost a friend, farewell. He's from the West Coast, and he decided to move back that way. We were like, gosh, we knew the time would come when we'd all start, going our separate ways, but we had no idea, like, it was coming so soon, we feel like, yeah, we've been here for 3 years, but I don't know, I thought we had one more good year, one more family. And I'm like, I'm really glad that everybody that I've met is so wonderful. And I'm like, I'm really glad y'all are awesome, because we're really stuck together. Like, here unless somebody gets out. And my husband just decided he wanted to stay in. So I'm like, well, good thing, because now I'm like, how do we move home? How do we leave this? How do we transition back? And every time we go home, I struggle with it, because we're not that far from home. It's an afternoon drive home. We can go for just like the weekend time. So we are extremely lucky in that standpoint. We go home and we love where we're from. His parents have a big farm. On my Instagram, I'm always posting about my child he should have been born into a farm life. I'm like, honey, we did him a disservice, because he is a little farm boy. He loves it, loves the animals, obsessed with the tractors. And we go home and I'm like, we could live here, like all of our family on this one little street, and it would be glorious. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in another 4 years. Broke my heart. It broke my heart. But when we're home and I'm like in my business mindset and I'm working on stuff for Homegrown Happiness, and I'm partnered with a lot of awesome companies, like Kristen with Milla Sew Box. She's awesome. We're doing a lot of work together. And Jasmine from Milla Sew Muster. So I have a lot of content that I have to keep up with. So when I'm home and I'm in like the grand scheme of things, I don't think about it as much. I'm like in the mindset that I've got, wives I want to call and check up on, and I've got blog posts that I need to get ready. But then when we go home for vacation, I like try and set it all aside. And I'm like, oh, you juggling this life is still tough. Even it's still tough.
Yeah, definitely when you go back, you have that, feeling of, the memories and the comfortability of being around everybody that you love. But definitely there's so many benefits to, being on this adventure of the military life. So, and I want to make sure I say hi to Matthew. He is the amazing founder of the Covey app, which is fantastic, and has a blog of himself. Christina, so nice to see you as well. Good morning. But yeah, oh my gosh, it's just so exciting. And you're just so real about everything, like I said. So, the last couple things, what would be your favorite part? So if people were to go to your website, what would you say would be your favorite part? And I guess maybe the first step for people to look at.
So I try and keep my content really mixed. So if you go to my website and you click on like the food tab, there's not much there. I do a lot of cooking, but it's normally like, how quickly can I throw this together after it's not. But if you really want to see like content that my heart is poured into, all my military articles, I have a new one that comes out almost every Friday. It's available on my website, also on the Milla Sew Muster app. And then just like my motherhood stuff, it's one big adventure, and I share like as honest as I can be. You know, like when I do a lot of my reviews, I'm like, well, these aren't paid, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I really just want you to know. Like,
Yes, it's so helpful.
yeah. So I'm not the traditional blogger that's like writing what you want to hear. It's not there. Like things get, they get a little deep, they get a little honest, but I wanted to be, transparent about things. I've met other women that are on the same like path as me, and they want to be like transparent and true. And I find their like Instagrams and their content so much more fun because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that was me at 10:30 a.m. this morning drinking a Mountain Dew because I don't drink coffee. Like, I don't wake up from my 12 hours of sleep, pull off my sleeping mask. I do use a sleeping mask because I like my room to be like pitch black.
Yeah.
That's the point. But like pull off my sleeping mask, I have no bags under my eyes, and I start my day. Nope. I roll out at the last minute.
Yeah, me too.
I have a Mountain Dew in hand, and my child spends most of his days in his truck pajamas. We do. But we're having fun. And so I feel like that's like the biggest part. And I volunteer for Gold Star Scholars. That's been my newest endeavor. We are a nonprofit, a registered nonprofit who helps the Gold Star families really achieve their dreams. The guys I work with, they're all veterans. I'm the only spouse on the board. And they're such tough guys. It's fun to work with a bunch of like, some are still active, some are ex-Rangers, but they're all Ranger guys, super tough dudes. And they're like, we want to help this family. We want to donate money to this family and help them. We're going to help this little girl go to college, or we're going to help this mom who's just really struggling right now. And it's like seeing the soft side of these like tough military guys. And that's like what it's all about. Like getting more involved has just been, it's been great. Like my husband, yeah, you think so too? Yeah, you love your uncles, don't you? It's sweet. Like we'll go up to visit the the FRG leader. Yeah. We'll go see her, and the guys are like, "Oh, hey, Colton," and he's like waving, like running to see Miss Kelowna. It's one big community. It's just really great. It's really awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I would love to learn more about your nonprofit, and especially incorporate that with itsmilitarylife.com for sure, with our outreach programs that we partner with and promote. That would be wonderful. And I guess last things, you have a newsletter. So making sure people sign up for that via your website. And then where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so my Instagram and my Facebook are both Homegrown Happiness Co. So it's pretty easy to find me. Yeah, they can find us there. They'll see a lot of Colton. And then my shop is just on Instagram, it's Shop Moss and Pine. And then on Facebook, it's Moss and Pine. So it's a lot of digital portraits. I've got a bunch of military spouse portraits coming out. They're really pretty. They're all customized. So if you need something that's like perfect personalized Valentine's Day gift, that's for you. Here you go, buddy.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what we'll do, Matthew's already subscribed. And what we'll do is we will put those links down in the comments after we finish up and wrap up the video. And we also will be, once we put this on YouTube, at It's a Military Life, the YouTube channel, I also will be posting the blog post featuring all of your interview questions and responses and some photos. So everyone make sure you stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. Colton and I have been looking forward to it. He wore his favorite truck pajamas for this occasion.
Well, you look amazing, little guy. Well, thank you so much again. And we'll chat soon.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.